In today's video, I'm going to be working on the back end of the truck, so let's get into it. Alright, right here I've got all the suspension parts in the booth, and I've already sprayed them with some epoxy as a sealer, and now I'm spraying them with some color. These are going to be red. It's a red velvet pearl color. I just got to do this about 10 more times and they'll be ready for clear. Okay, I've got all the link bars sealed and colored. Now it's time to mix up some clear. Alright, while those link bars are drying in the booth, it's time to put the axle back together. I've gone ahead and cleaned this thing up and completely welded everything. Then I painted it with a coat of some Rust-Oleum wrinkle paint. Now I just got to put it back together. Okay, I've gone ahead and pre-bent some brake lines for this axle. Now I just need to flare the ends. The first thing you need to do is install a line nut, then place the line into the die. Once it's in the die, you set the depth of the line by turning the dial to the stop. Then tighten the clamp down so it's nice and snug. And then next, you're going to turn the dial to the first flare because we're going to be doing a double flare. Once it's on the first flare, you crank the lever and then turn the dial to the second style flare and crank the lever again. And just like that, you have a perfectly flared brake line end. Now I just need to repeat this to the other end of this line as well as the other line that's going to go on the axle, and then they'll be ready to install. Okay, here's the completed axle with new rotors, calipers, and brake lines ready to be pushed underneath the truck so I can start getting it mounted up. Now that the paint's finally dry on the 4-link bars, I can start to install them. Next step is to connect the brake lines from the axle to the frame, and to do that I'm using some -3 AN brake hose. And last but not least, it's time to install the shocks for the final time. Alright, here's what the suspension looks like now that it's about 90% complete. Now it's time to move on to the back half of the bed. This is what the tail lights are going to look like. Here's the reverse lights. This is the running light, and this is the brake light / turn signal. Okay, here's basically the back half of the truck completely assembled, minus a handful of things. I just like to see everything once it gets put back together now that it's been painted. It's starting to look like something, which is always exciting. Okay, that's the back of the truck pretty much wrapped up. I did go ahead and stain the wood for the flatbed, and I reinstalled that. So that basically is going to be the end of the back half of the truck for now. So now I'm going to be working on the cab, which means it's going to be a while before I put out another video because there's a ton of work to be done to that thing. So I guess watch out for more videos, and I'll see you next time.